Budo Junior School and King's College Budo are schools started by the missionaries in response to the royal call of Buganda Kingdom. The schools are located in Busiro Sub-County, Wakiso District. Aside the royal roots attached to them, the schools are known for producing some of the most prominent personalities in and outside of Uganda. William Hayter said, "Good luck can be our right, bad luck is a betrayal of that." In this context, the right is that the schools are blessed with incomparable professionals who attract students from which more paramount people will be produced. But the bad luck is the water scarcity in schools.
We had a system of water running for both schools that was started way back when the schools had just started. And it is this system that has been serving the two schools up to date. But of course, with the increasing population and settlement around, this water has been encroached. It has been a little polluted, and the quantity that we used to get at the time is not the quantity that we're getting now.
The drawback usually happens during the dry season, which greatly affects the total population of over 3,000 people in both schools. That is the staff, students, and pupils.
We sometimes get challenges of water scarcity. Say we used to get 1,000 liters being supplied, but now it has greatly dropped. And in case there is any crisis, we get great challenge in the two schools.
Yes, King's College Budo depends on various water sources, which include the local water source, Nansove, as it is traditionally known, because water is actually pumped from Nansove. But of late, we have also embraced National Water and Sewage Corporation, which supplies us water. We also do rainwater harvesting, but given the demands of the students and the staff at the Hill, it so happens that the water levels that we have are not adequate.
When it's the dry season, like right now, you can see how hot it is, the water is really scarce. And look for water up to guest house, up to sanatorium. The water in the house becomes scarce when it's a dry season, but generally we have water. So I'd like us to have like flowing water, like in the showers, we'd have like flowing water. That would be a nice feeling.
The school's authorities explain the stressful survival tactics.
Sometimes we go into buying water from some other companies. We get trucks here ferrying water into the school, but it is very, very expensive.
We have been carrying out what we call rationing. We do open different valves to supply water to different ends of the school, depending on the particular school time. So what we usually do, we supply water to the girls at particular times, but of course steady supply is maintained at the kitchen, because kitchen being the powerhouse, they must always have water. And then the other arms of the school, the staff quarters and the boys' end, also have a designated time when water is pumped to those different areas. But of course, like I said earlier on, we do harvest water from the safe roofs, and all the different houses have at least 2 storage tanks of reasonable capacity, and this has in a way helped to maintain supplies at all times. And we're also encouraging the students to actually collect water when it is flowing. They store it such that any time they would love to draw from their containers, they have something left. And the teacher in charge of utilities constantly updates the students and the staff about the water situation.
According to USGS Water Science School, an average person is supposed to consume 80 to 100 gallons of water a day. That is in domestic use like washing, bathing, drinking, and other activities. It is from these grounds that a group of old Budonians joined the elite minds to overcome the hiccup.
We thought we could give back to the school in more ways than only revisiting old teachers and things like that. So we went to the school and spoke to the headmaster, Mr. Kavuru, and he told us a few of the problems that they were facing. One of the problems was the lack of adequate water. So initially we thought, okay, the rain season is soon coming. We started off this thing around about the rain season. The rain season is soon coming. So why don't we get some tanks, maybe 1 or 2, for harvesting? At that particular point, that's when we got an old boy. Actually, he's not a Kabinjan, but we have adopted him in Kabinja. That's when he told us that there has been a plan to harvest water from the springs around the schools. And that's when he took us that direction. There was a very grand plan that he introduced us to. And this plan is quite a big plan. A few million shillings, about 500-600 shillings. 600 million, not 600 shillings. 600 million shillings. But we said we could not raise 600 million shillings. But we could start.
After an intense observation, the project's mastermind, Stephen Omoit, a professional water engineer, confirmed that the project will need monetary support of only 600 million Uganda shillings.
There are water well springs down in the school farm, and we thought those could be developed for use by the schools. Unfortunately, the biggest spring was being used by the community. However, it was in a state of disrepair. So we chose to find an alternative or alternatives for the neighbors, that is the neighboring community. And those alternatives came in 2 forms. One is what we have designated as spring number 1. That one was located, or is located right now, in the land of the Catholic Church, exactly in the land of St. Jude Primary School. The old Kabinjans, the old boys and old girls of Kabinja, have paid for that, and that spring has been constructed, and now the community is using it. And that will take care of the community which comes in from the east and the southern side of the spring. However, in the middle is where the biggest source that would be used by the schools would be located. So we realized there is a portion of the community which comes in from the north, from the Nakasozi side. So we decided, and we actually protected another spring well on the northern side within the school farm to cater for the community from that side. That has been done, and what remains now is to protect what we call spring sets number 3, that is 3B and 3C, and those will be used by both schools. Fortunately, Kabinja is nearer that spring, or nearer those springs, and it's at a low altitude, so technically the system would work that we pump the water from the spring to Kabinja, and when Kabinja has had its fill, we would then connect or divert the water to King's College Budo. From our preliminary assessment, the water is enough to meet both schools. However, we would have to invest into protecting those springs and more spring eyes that are available there, bring in water from Nansove, and then construct a sump. That sump will collect the water from those sources. We would then pump it through a pre-filter, and then we disinfect it using ultraviolet light, and to be good enough to consume. We believe with existing reservoirs, we just deliver the water to those reservoirs and it will be distributed as usual. And we really believe it will be enough to meet the schools, at least for the school's needs, at least for the next 10 years. However, following quickly on that, when you produce clean water, the consumption results into dirty water. We must logically invest into construction to take care of the wastewater. Water from the kitchens, water from the bathrooms, water from the toilets, which will have flushing toilets. So the solution to that, on one side, is to build biodigesters for Africa House and Australia House and the kitchen, and then have the rest of the sewage and sewage flowing down to the sewage ponds, which shall be located below Gaster House, nearer Chisozi. That is for King's College Budo. For Budo Junior School, all the water, the wastewater of the school can actually be collected into one sewer, and it flows to the northeastern corner of the school farm. That's where we would locate the second set of oxidation ponds. They are basically sewage treatment lagoons, and that will take care of the wastewater comfortably for at least 25 years from now. From our design, we guess it shall be able to work for 50 years plus. But for now, we are saying 25 years is a good enough design horizon.
This is not the only project that the Budonians have set their minds to. They have set up 2 wells for the community, which makes water supply easier.
Bayinza okuba kubanga twali tulina oluzi lumu ng'abantu baba bangi ate nga n'abaana bali beetaaga amazzi kuba baatuyamba ng'amazzi tugasimbira layini naye kati tetujja agasimbira layini abamu bagenda ku lweri abalala ku luno abalala ku luno baffe baatukolera luno eno abava eno kati bali ne babakolera lulye.
The good step needs a quick treatment so as to solve the mishap at hand, but its financial demands are too big to be handled by a handful of people. Therefore, old and current Budonians, parents and well-wishers have been asked to join forces so that they can solve the problem.
This project seems to be attracting, rather calling for great sponsorship. I would encourage that whoever has good heart for the school, any well-wisher, the old students who are not here, the government, the parents' body, and whoever can to come in and support this project. This project is not only going to benefit Budo Junior School, King's College Budo, but even the community around.
I'd like to call upon the different stakeholders, the alumni, old parents, current parents, and the current students, staff all together. They should actually embrace the opportunity of partnering with the different stakeholders who have spearheaded this particular drive. Water, as we are all aware, water is a right. Everybody has a right to water, and as many people say, water is life. This is a very important project that we all should work hand in hand. We should work together to see to it that it is driven to a meaningful conclusion.
Yeah, I appeal to all Budonians and the current Budonians. I believe this project is doable. Even if we added on the wastewater treatment, I can click off my finger that would cost us about $1 billion, meaning that the total project would cost us about $1.5 billion in today's money. That is money we can raise as Budonians. There's a lot of goodwill. All we have to do is encourage ourselves.
There is quite a few things that are needed. We are appealing to all Budonians, both Kabinja and King's College, to fundraise so that realize this project. Of course, both schools are going to get involved. They have already committed themselves that they will get involved, but also all boys and all girls can come together and contribute to the success of this project.